Hi, this is Kenny Harper, and you are tuned in to listen to How to Speak Your Book. And I'm going to share with you some concepts, some ideas that you can use to transform your ideas, your talks, your life stories into a book that you can generate revenue, that you can build a business, that you can spread a message. So stay tuned. I'm going to go over the key concepts, and I'm doing this on a very high level to keep things quick and easy. So pay attention, and if you have any questions, definitely feel free to connect with me on social media. There is a much more involved training of this program that goes into the nitty-gritty details, but you'll get the basics in this training overview. So have you ever wondered what it'd be like to use your unique stories, life experiences to help other people or to make some additional money? Would you like to learn how to do that process in less time and get better results? Well, I'm going to share with you some strategies and ideas of how you can do just that. And my promise to you is that by the end of this session, you'll have the best way to do this that's going to give you awesome results and clear direction. Now, just to be clear, this strategy is for people who want to use their ideas and their strategies and their gifts and insights to get a message out there, make some additional money, help people, serve people. If you're looking to write a fiction book, or you're looking to write a book that is the New York Times bestseller, this is probably not the strategy you want to follow. This is a strategy really to get your message out in a book, the quickest strategy, okay? And why are we doing this? Because thought leaders are leaders. When you write a book, you're getting your thoughts out in a clear package that other people could follow, they could listen to, they could subscribe to, and it can help change their lives. It can also help you learn in the process, and you can generate some extra money while doing this. Okay, so why should you do this now? There is no better time to start any effort than now. You can't do it in the past. Past is already done. You could put things off to the future, but that will prevent them from happening now. So sooner you get started, the sooner you start getting the results. A little bit about myself. I'm the partner at Rock My Image. I'm an award-winning marketing consultant. I'm the author of Amplify Your Business, the Rockstar Professional's Guide to Marketing Success. So I've had a lot of experience working with different companies, different businesses, both small businesses to large global brands, and a lot of in between. I have two partners at my business at Rock My Image, Jen DeVore, Richter, and Manny Torres. I have a wonderful family, a wonderful wife, and two amazing young boys. And before I get into the process, I just want to share you a quick story about my process of writing my first book. It started off, I was working in my business, and I was trading my time for money, and I was doing things harder rather than smarter. And then, I had to kind of come to a point where I couldn't go any further. And I started to go backwards in my business. And then I realized maybe I was doing it wrong. So I started to really understand that in order for me to grow, I needed to connect to new ideas, new concepts, new people, to learn things differently. So I started to learn what to do differently and learned how to take my stories and turn them into something that was entertaining, but also training, and really understand that I needed to provide value to people in order for them to get value out of my message. It's not just enough to have an entertaining message. To be able to monetize something, you need to be able to give value and have a transformation, and that's an important concept. So remember that if you're an author, you're a leader. Authors are thought leaders, they're leaders, and if you want to be a bigger leader, you want to help push a movement forward, you want to make a change in the world, writing a book is a way to do that. So there are some challenges you may run into. Some challenges you may think is, I don't have the time. I don't really know if my stories are good enough. I don't know if I can afford to do that. I don't know if I could sell it. If you don't know, you ever heard the quote from Henry Ford? Well, the quote is this: if you believe you can, or if you believe you can't. Either way, you're right. So, it's only a myth. It's only a myth that you can't do that. But you are an amazing human being. You have your own stories that can help other people out there. It's like you're a superhero. Your background, the things that you've learned right now could help someone. And you could share that information with them, or you can hoard it to yourself. It's your choice. I suggest you share it and help others. And you could benefit in the process. Now, my bigger reason is I have defined a bold vision to inspire and empower 100,000 entrepreneurs to live their bold vision, using their unique gifts, following their true passion, and serving a higher purpose. And what I'm going to share with you is the 5 steps to rock your book. Now, these are 5 steps, and in these 5 steps, there's other baby steps. So let's go ahead and get these 5 steps. Quick overview. Number 1, you're going to set the stage. You're going to define your goal and strategy. Number 2, you're going to research and outline. You're going to get your ideas in order. Number 3, you're going to produce your material. You're going to record your talks. Number 4, you're going to edit and refine. You're going to have an editor, the production and design, getting all that taken care of. And then number 5, you're going to publish and promote and share your message with the world. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to set the stage. Before any great show that you put on, before any rock star puts on a great show, they always set the stage. And you want to set it for success. So the first thing you want to do is you want to define your goal and strategy. So what's your overall goal for writing a book? What's the purpose? Why are you doing it? You want to know that. You want to have clarity with it. Are you looking to be number 1 bestseller? Well, we told you that a moment ago, at the beginning of this session, that this training is not for doing that. So this might just jump off the training at this point. If you're looking to create a book to help spread your message to other people, sharing your life stories, hey, that's a good goal. But you know you need to monetize that, right? You know that when you write a book, you're kind of in business at that point, right? And you need to understand how to make the effort profitable, because if you want to spread your message to more people, you're going to need money to do that. Now, for me, money isn't my main driver. I want to help more people, but I realize in order for me to do that, in order for me to serve more people, I do need to generate money. And that's an important concept. When I got started off in business, I thought, I just want to help people, and I didn't want to have to charge people for different things. And then I realized, hey, I'm going broke, and I'm going to be out of business, and then I won't be helping anybody. So we say we got to help yourself, and when you create more money, not only can you spread your message further, but also people who buy into your ideas will value them more. And so your message will become more impactful for the people who buy into your ideas. Does that make sense? Excellent. So then once you've defined your goal, you want to identify your targets. Who are you talking to? Who is your target audience? It's an important thing to understand because you're going to talk different to different people, right? You're not going to talk to the same to kids as you would to Fortune 500 CEOs. It's just not how you would do that. You would talk differently to different people. So make sure that you know who you're talking to, and then when you're writing your book, you're writing your content, you're writing it in a way that's speaking directly to them. So right now, as I'm giving this presentation, this recording to you, I'm doing it as if I'm talking to somebody that I know, that's one of my friends, that I'm giving advice to. Third step in setting the stage is you want to plan the time to take the action, to actually write and produce your book. So a lot of people have the goal of writing and producing a book. A lot of the times I see months or years go by and then people are still talking about it, or they haven't made much progress at all. Still working on that first chapter. Don't do that. Commit to doing this right. Commit to plan the time to take the action. Pick the days of the week, pick the times of the day, block it off, and then actually take the action during that time frame. Otherwise, you're going to spin your wheels and you may never get it done. All right, so the next thing you got to do is step number 2, research and outline. you're going to get your ideas in order in this step. So first thing I'd like to suggest is setting some benchmarks. Finding some books that you like that are already out there, whether it's books that you've read before, books similar to what you're going to be writing, other books in your industry, books that you've always liked something about. Just set some benchmarks of what you like. And it's really helpful that you're going to create a book that's informative and provides value and shares life stories, that you want to find books that do that. Finding a book that's a good fictional book may not be a good benchmark because it's really not the type of book that we're writing here. So find some good books, people that share their stories and that have monetized it. Look at them. Look at how they are producing the book. What do they put as the title? What is the subtitle? How are they marketing the cover? What's on the back of the cover? Look in the table of contents. Look at how they're positioning the book. Who do they say the book's for? When you look at a book and you've defined it as a benchmark, you can start emulating it and modeling its success. When you model success, you will get success. Okay? So number 2, and the second step to step number 2 is decide your book style. How are you going to write this book? Is it going to be an interview? Are you going to tell stories and give information? Or is it going to be a little bit more instructional? How are you going to write the book? Are you going to do it in nuggets? Is it going to be chronological? Are you going to do definitions? Now, I would suggest the method of this book is to go ahead and do it in a way where you're going to share a story, provide an insight, and then provide examples to give support to that insight. You're going to share so many insights, you want to have a transformation in someone's mind, and by the end of the book, they'll have a transformation in their mind. Okay? And then you want to draft out your table of contents. When you're doing this outline, you're going to outline the book, you're going to draft out a table of contents. To make it real easy on yourself, think, hey, I'm going to do this in 90 days, I'm going to give myself 13 chapters. That's approximately a chapter a week. And then I'm going to think about what is the main transformation I want someone to have from the time they pick up this book to the time they put it down. What is that transformation? Now, break that out into 13 steps. Whether it's section 1, section 2, section 3, and then breaking that down into subchapters, however you want to do that. And then think about the 13 steps that someone would need to take in order to have the transformation you want them to have. Don't overcomplicate it and try to put too much in there and try to teach too much in this book. Don't make it too basic where you're only covering one basic topic and you don't have some different supporting topics to really illustrate your point. So draft out your ideas and put them as your table of contents. Later, you can work to associate stories to your ideas and then turn them into actual chapter titles. At this point, you don't need to do that. You just need to get your ideas in alignment. In a moment, I'm going to share with you some strategies of how you're going to produce those the outline into actual stories. For now, just know that you need to define your chapters in step 2. So at the end of step 2, you'll have your benchmarks, you'll know your book style, and you'll have drafted out the table of contents. So step number 3, you'll step into that, and you're going to start producing your material. Now, this is a strategy that's really good for people who write blogs, or they write stories, or they speak. And if you can speak your ideas, you can speak your stories. So here we're going to go ahead and produce your material by recording your talks. Now, before you start recording, so we're going to record the talks, but before you start recording, brainstorm your stories. Brainstorm your ideas of your stories. You can do this in multiple different ways. You can think back chronologically from the time when you're, just a little wee one walking around to when you grew up and were in adolescence, teenage years, 20s, young adulthood, just growing up through life, the transformations that you had. You can think about all the stories and just jot them down. And then you can go back and maybe think about the different categories that you've had, thinking about like the associations that you had from different jobs, different relationships, different organizations, different holidays. Think of the memories kind of focused on those categories. You can think about different feelings and think about stories that you have that bring different feelings to mind. And you're just going to catalog all your ideas, write them all down, brainstorming your stories, okay? And once you have your brainstorm stories, you want to figure out which of these stories that you could use that could help you illustrate the points that you're trying to create in your book. And it may take a little bit of time, but you'll know the stories that are most impactful, and you may know some stories that are funny or provide interest, and maybe you have to work a little bit to get the story to relate to your content, or maybe it'll fit naturally. If it's completely unrelated, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb, maybe don't force it in there. But you may think of, how can this relate? How can I use this story to share a point? And a lot of the times we can do that when we just use our mind and our creativity. But make them relate if you're going to put them in your book. Right, so then you have all your stories and you associate them to the chapters, and then you're going to draft and rehearse. You're going to draft out a chapter. It's basically you're going to write a 7 to 10 minute speech for that chapter. And you're going to have an introduction. You can have a main point, supporting points, and a conclusion or a call to action. Keep it simple. We're not going for an amazing award-winning book. We're looking to share your ideas in a succinct way to entertain people. So tell a story that's memorable. Tell a story that will illustrate a point that people can follow, that can have some humor or some interest in it, and that people will learn something in the process of reading it, or have a call to action that they'll take an action in this transformation that you want them to have. They'll be able to have it. Focus on that. Once you've drafted your story and you've rehearsed it, go ahead and record it. You can record your audio, and if you record the video too, you can upload it on YouTube. You can do it unpublished. It'll give you a rough translation or transcription of your video. So I like doing that. I was using this online dictation software, dictation.io, but it was not working as consistent as I would like it to have. So I started using just recording video, uploading the video to YouTube, getting the closed caption, and then you got to do some editing and polishing that up, but that gives you a good outline for what your story is. Right now, this video that I'm recording right now is giving me an opportunity to record this and upload it and get it transcribed, and now have an outline for my material. Okay, so the next step after recording your audio is to make sure that you do get it transcribed. That's in step 4 actually, is edit and refine. You're going to get it transcribed. Either you're going to do it yourself, you're going to do rev.com, you can use dictation.io, or you can upload to YouTube if you have a video file. If you just record the audio, you can create a video file with the audio and maybe a picture using some software. You can upload that. It's going to do a transcription. It's not going to be perfect. You'll have to edit it. And you probably are going to make some mistakes when you do your speech anyway. That's fine. This isn't recording audio for it to be perfect. You're just getting a message out there. I want you to understand something that's really important. Good is good enough. Don't strive for perfection. That can prevent you from ever getting to where you're trying to go. Do it well, and then move on. Then you can do it again and do it better. Make it too hard on yourself and try to do things perfectly the first time around. You can just prevent yourself from finishing, and that's not good. It's better to do something, learn from the experience, and then work on making it better through time. All right, so once you have it transcribed, then you'll edit it. You'll make sure the punctuation is in there. You'll take out the mistakes that you may have made when you recorded it. You can fix any grammar mistakes. And then you can, step number 3 of step number 4, how many steps can you put in one step? Is refine and amplify. So if you've transcribed it, You've done a basic edit. Now you're going to refine it and amplify it. And by refining it, you're going to add maybe some extra thoughts to it, some extra quotes or resources or supporting material, and you're going to amplify it by maybe making a call to action, putting in an illustration, or adding something that you didn't have in there to begin with. Now, what I suggest here is not spending a lot of time in this area. I think if you're going to transcribe something that you thought was good enough to record, you spend maybe an hour and 2 hours max editing and refining the recording. Once you do that, you'll have something that's produced, then move on. It doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to have your ideas out there. Okay? Once you have that done, now you're going to move on to the final step. Step number 5 is to publish and promote, to share it with the world. So I didn't mention this in step 4, but let's go take a step back. After you've refined it and you've proofed it, you've edited it, I highly suggest hiring an editor that has more experience editing professional work. They can correct the grammar mistakes, the spelling mistakes, and the things that really need to be corrected. It doesn't need to be a book writer. It just needs to be an editor that can proof the work that you have. You don't need their insights for writing a book. That's not what you're looking for, their insights. You're just looking for someone to proof, spell check, grammar correct. But it's worth doing. Okay, and step number 5 is publish and promote, share with the world. By the way, are you getting this? Can you see yourself doing this? I think you can. I think you're going to do great. So in step number 5, first thing you're going to do is produce. You want to produce your book. You need to take the document and it needs to be edited in a way where it looks more like a book, right? Putting the table of contents, an introduction, a conclusion. You want to make sure that there's formatting, maybe some graphics, some styling. If you just take a Word document and publish it as a book, it's going to look like you took a Word document and published it as a book. Maybe that might be good and good enough. While you're not striving for perfection, I do suggest making it look like it's a book. Making it look like you put at least a little bit of effort into making it look like it's a book. People will perceive the message better and will value it more when it looks like it's been produced a little bit better, even if it's not perfect. So do put some time and energy in that. If you don't have that knowledge or expertise, hire someone that does. There's a lot of different people that offer these skills for really affordable pricing. But make sure that it's produced and it looks professional. It looks like a book. Then you need to authorize your book. Now you can get your book authorized by uploading it to Amazon.com. You can print out your book. You can even go track down a publisher. See, someone can publish your book. That's a completely different process. I like self-publishing. You're in control of your own destiny. You can choose what you want to put out there. And you're owner of your content. And back in once upon a time, you had to rely on the publishers to get your book out there. Otherwise, it'd be virtually impossible for somebody who didn't have a publisher several years back to get your books all over the place. You needed that. Now with services like Amazon, you can sell across the world, and all you need is Amazon. Just send people the link and they can go ahead and buy as many copies of your book. You don't need to get them printed ahead of time. You don't need to have to pay a print publisher back or any of that. You just get your link and you can send it to people. Or you can get your book printed and then you have your book that you can hand out or sell at events or give away. So once you need to authorize it, figure out the strategy you want to do there, and then of course you got to promote the book. You got to tell people that you have this book and what they're going to get out of it when they get this book. What's the value? What will they gain from buying your book, from reading your book? What's the value to them? Well, it shares your life stories, maybe something, but is that really value to them? Probably not. We all have our own life stories, right? So is it that it's going to teach them something? Well, that might be important, but there's other books out there that teach them something too. And maybe it teaches them the same thing. So what about your book is going to be different? It's an important part to differentiate your book. You need to know that when you're setting the stage and thinking about your strategy of what you're creating. You want to create value. You want to provide this transformation, but you also need to make sure that you're doing it in a unique way. And you could say, well, it's my unique life stories. Well, that does make it unique, but you also need to brand the process or system that you have that you're going to share this information so that's unique as well. Because once you can brand a process or a system, now only you can offer that process or system. Does that make sense? That's one of the cool things about developing your personal brand, branding your products or materials. Then no longer is it a commodity and the same as everyone else that offers a very similar thing. It becomes something that's unique and has true value. So that's an important part. Okay. So those are the steps. Those are the steps that you can follow to record your ideas into a book. Now I've got some strategies that you can use when you're writing your book to make sure that you're going to get people's, you're going to connect with people, you're going to draw them in, and then when you connect with them, you provide more value and you have thought past the book to help amplify your mission even further. What am I saying there? I'm saying if you want to get your message out to more people, we've already said that you need to learn how to monetize your business. So selling a book will get your message only so far, and you'll make some money from that, but it's really not enough money to do much with. Maybe pay for some social media ads. So you need to think about what's the other thing that you can offer either people or companies or organizations that can actually bring in enough value to do something with, so you can invest it in your business and getting your message out to more people and transforming more people's lives. That's the really important part, is thinking beyond the book into the business, into being an entrepreneur, to being a business owner, to being a rock star professional. And since you've made it this far in this presentation, I invite you to go to my website, kennyharper.rocks, and I invite you to tune in to one of my online trainings. There's a training I offer. It's called Claim My Stage. It's how to leverage your personal brand like a rock star professional. And I also offer some other trainings and things that will be very valuable. But I want you to understand what you're looking to do is to build a personal brand, generate revenue so you can serve a higher purpose. It isn't about ego. It isn't about just self-serving. It's about being able to provide true value to people and then being able to maximize how you run the business part of your business so that you can spread your message and serve more people. But it's an important part to do. So in these trainings, we go over how to create different revenue streams, how to market your business, how to establish more credibility, visibility, and status so you're attracting new opportunities to you to further spread your message. I also share some systems that you can leverage to increase your efficiencies, generate more profits, so you can, again, spread your message even further. Now, I have a bold vision to inspire and empower 100,000 entrepreneurs. And what I want is to make sure that I'm serving more people, helping them live their bold vision, because I believe if more people were really tuned in into helping serving others, using their unique gifts, following their true passion, serving that higher purpose, I believe this world would be a better place. So that's what I aim to do. That's my vision. I invite you To connect with me, to tune into my frequency, go to kennyharper.rocks, sign up for one of my online trainings, and let's amplify your business. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.